Today's guest is someone whose life has unfolded in front of millions and millions of people. But as you'll hear in this conversation, there is so much more to Meri Brown's story than what could ever be captured fully on television. Meri opens up about navigating infertility, loss, challenging relationships, public scrutiny, and the long process of discovering who she is beyond the roles she was once expected to fill. We also talk about healing, finding safe people, embracing every part of who you are, and the deeply personal journey that inspired her Worthy Up movement. This is a conversation about what happens when the life you once knew begins to fall apart, and when you finally give yourself permission to believe it might actually be falling into place. So take a breath, settle in, and get ready to hear Meri Brown's story. Hello, Meri. We are so honored to have you on Created Worthy. I cannot wait to jump more into your story.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here. I'm honored that you invited me. Thank you.
So let's jump right in. Your journey has been so publicly shared through the show Sister Wives, but there's always more beneath what we see on TV. What have you learned about yourself from watching your own story play out on screen, and how has it shaped your identity off camera?
I don't think that just the show itself has shaped my identity. When you look at the fact that the show has been on for 14, almost 15 years now, you've got a lot of age and wisdom. The thing that I always think about is when I watch the show, think about this. When they make an episode, they're filming about whatever's happening. And then later we do an interview about it. Like we do the couch interview about it. And then later we see it aired, right? So even though, like, for instance, if it was a tough conversation or a tough situation, right? But then maybe I had processed through it and figured it all out. And then I have to do an interview about it and it brings it up again. And then months later, it airs and then it brings it all up again, right? So like if you think of it in terms of that, like I have a lot of opportunity to process through a situation.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I mean?
can only imagine. Like, how much later are the couch interviews from the actual interaction typically?
There's really not a typical, it could be a few weeks to a few months, just depending on the situation. And then the same when it airs, a few weeks to a few months. And so the fact that I have all those opportunities to process through a situation and then it comes up again, it's almost like when something is put in your face again, it's like, it's still bothering me. There must be something more that I have to figure out in the situation, right? So just that in and of itself helps me to really look at me and figure out my stuff.
Yeah.
So
I am all about, I call it creative processing, which is simply activating your creative mind to process a certain intention. And all of us engage in our creative minds in different ways. It could be through painting, journaling, typical creative methods, or it could be through reorganizing your house or making spreadsheets or going on a walk, and also through conversation. So I can only imagine that as you have these opportunities to process through one certain conversation or one certain situation, it's like processing is a process, right? So it evolves. What you've processed the first time, like right after the situation happened versus when you talk about it the next time, and then when you talk about it the next time, and then when you see it, like there, in some ways, it seems like it actually could be a beautiful way to experience healing in almost an expedited way. Has that been your experience at all?
yeah, for sure. It's like, I guess just because, and I don't know if it's necessarily always very expedited, to be honest with you. And so when it comes up again, it's like, okay, I guess I didn't actually deal with that. And now it's time to actually deal with it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It forces me to really look at myself. Being in the public eye for so long, I know how I want to be, truly my integrity and myself and my values, right? But then also I know what I want to present to the world as well. I'm a good person. I'm an honest person and I want to show that. But also, like, how do I balance that with my salty, snarky side? It's like, how can I be both of these people? Worthiness. We're talking about worthy, your brand and my brand, right? Like, both have the word worthy in them, right? that's very important to me, but I'm just gonna like lay it out there sometimes too. You know what I mean? And
For
I'm gonna
sure.
say it with a little bit of spice. And how do I balance both parts of me? Because they are both real and
Yeah.
they are both true. And they both make me happy. And they're just very different. So it's been an interesting process, like trying to grasp that part of me.
That makes sense. Again, it's a process. So, for the listeners who maybe haven't watched Sister Wives or heard of Sister Wives, do you mind if we just take a couple of minutes and you share a little bit about first, what did your life look like before the show? How did you grow up? What kind of environment did you grow up in? And just give us an overview of what Sister Wives is.
I grew up in a plural family. My dad had five wives, and I am the oldest of, sorry, I'm not the oldest. I'm the oldest daughter of, there's like 27 kids. I've got two older brothers. There's like 27 of us. Just based on like when my dad married each wife, we didn't necessarily all grow up together in the same house all the time, right? So it wasn't as chaotic as what I say, 27 kids. But I grew up in a plural family. I ended up marrying into, well, I was the first wife of what we ended up creating as a plural family. And then,
Real quick, did you intend to build a plural family when you married your ex-husband? Okay.
yes, yeah, that was our intention. We talked about it. I had been raised the church that condones, and he actually joined it later as an adult. We ended up getting married young. I was 19 years old when I got married. He was 22. So we were really young. And then fast forward about 20 years, I'm trying to think of the timeline when we ended up starting the show. Like a director came to us, director producer came to us and basically wanted to do a TV show or a special, like a 1 or 2 hour special.
Okay.
About our family structure, right? And at that time there was three wives. Our 13th child was on the way. He was like starting the courting process of his fourth wife who had three children at the time from a previous marriage. Anyway, ended up being picked up on TLC, and here we are like 14 years later. I am divorced. Two others have also left him, so he now is only married to one. But the show is basically following our story of a plural family with 18 children and just our struggles and our triumphs and the evolution of the family and the interaction and the relationships and how do we live? How do we share our story? How do we do what we do? Is it successful? Is it not successful? So it's through the years, a lot has happened. Anybody who lives 15 years on a TV show or not.
Would you say that the production of Sister Wives is an accurate reflection of what you experienced in your own story?
I personally do my very best to share my truth in sharing my story. Like, it's very important to me to share my truth. The production does do a pretty good job at it. There's always a little bit of production.
Hollywood.
But it's very important to me. And this is why I like doing these podcasts. And this is why I share my story the way that I do it, even within my own social media group or whatever, because it's important to me to share my story and my truth.
And for you to use your voice, right? And that's the blessing of being able to have podcasts or have social media is that it's direct. And I love that you love having these opportunities because then you come and are on our show and we get to hear from you. Speaking a little bit about you and your story, you've spoken about your miscarriage and the deep impact it had on your spiritual life and personal growth. Can you take us into that season of awakening and just talk to us a little bit about what it taught you about healing, purpose, faith?
It was really interesting looking back on it now. I'm looking at it with different eyes, different perspective, obviously. But in those years of me struggling with my infertility. Like, I had been married before I was blessed with my baby. And then it was 12 years after I was even able to get pregnant again. And those were the only two pregnancies I ever had. Obviously, that one ended in miscarriage. And living and going through all those years while living in a plural family, not to mention in a community that is, you want to have babies, you want to have a large family, what you do, right? And it was almost like it was ingrained in me that in order to be, and probably unintentionally, but being raised in this culture that is you have babies. This is what your value is, to be a wife and a mom. And my body was not agreeing with that. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then a step further, and I'm watching these other women, my sister wives at the time, giving my husband at the time children, right? And I'm like, who am I? Because I couldn't do that. I so blessed that I was able to get one. So many women don't even get one and know the blessing that I have in my child. Like living in this family that like I was very grateful that I could give my child siblings because that's what they wanted is siblings, right? And had I not been in that family structure, then my child wouldn't have siblings. And so also for that reason, I'm very grateful. And I've got a good relationship with many of our kids. Not being able to do that through those years while watching all my friends, all my sisters, my sister wives, everybody having babies. And I'm like, I'm not worth anything because I can't do that. And that was really hard. It was really hard going that time.
Also have walked through infertility. My husband and I have been walking through infertility for about 6 years, but I have one daughter. So I relate in that, like, I'm so grateful. Also, there's that longing, right? Of I wish that I could have more. I wish I could carry more babies.
And isn't it a really strange place to be because you're surrounded with people as well who don't even get one. And you're like, I got one. I should be so grateful. And I am so grateful for the one. And then you feel guilty.
Exactly. A really strange place to be. And then, too, and I can only speak from my experience, but I'm wondering from your experience, like it's painful sometimes and now the longer that we've been navigating through this, the easier it's become. But it's painful sometimes when just a best friend gets pregnant. For you, having multiple sister wives who are carrying multiple babies over the course of those 12 years that you're trying, well, and I assume after the miscarriage as well, you were open to having more. You still had that longing. How were you able to pick yourself up and not just be bitter?
Let's be clear. I did have my moments of bitterness. I don't know how you could not. I think the bitterness, I think the anger, I think the sadness are all very normal emotions when you're going through that. And the shame that we put on that is probably the worst part of it, if you ask me, because we shouldn't have the shame for feeling the emotions because the emotions are normal. It's okay to have the emotions. You have to sit in those emotions and really feel them. And I didn't know that at the time. I thought that I was wrong for feeling the emotions. And that's where that shame comes along. And it's just this spiral. So if there's anything that I could tell anybody, it's okay to feel the feelings. It is very painful. It's very sad. It's a loss. Like you're grieving something that you didn't have. If you're one of the women who have to deal with a lot of miscarriages, I only had the one miscarriage, but I know, and I've talked to many people who are able to get pregnant, but not able to carry the baby. I only had to deal with one miscarriage. I can't imagine that pain, like
over and over.
Multiple times. Like I cannot imagine that because that would just bring another level of I'm not good enough. There's one level of I can't even get pregnant, so I'm not good enough. And then there's the other level of okay, I got pregnant and I can't even protect the thing that is most precious to me. I can't protect it. There's not a dang thing I can do about it. So that's like another whole level.
Sure. So I also know, and you mentioned earlier that you do have some amazing relationships with some of would you call them your children as well, your sister wives? Yeah. Knowing that you were navigating through infertility, how are you able to foster those relationships with those other kids in your family?
They're two different things. They're completely different. They're completely different. Because I remember every time each of these children were born, it's like that child is its own unique person and it doesn't have anything to do with there is that part of me that's like gosh, I would really like to have one of my own, right? But this baby has nothing to do with that. That baby is its own unique and amazing human being. And so I was able to create those relationships based on that child.
Yeah, for sure. I would say even in my experience, when I've had really close friends who have had babies, it's the same. The pregnancy is the most painful part, right? Like
Yep.
when they announce that they're pregnant or you find out that they're pregnant. But by the time the baby comes, it's like, I am so excited and I can't wait to love on them and squish them. And yeah.
If your fashion wish list lives rent-free in your brain, you need to be on Poshmark. With Poshmark, you're shopping millions of listings from thousands of closets, each curated by someone with their own style. Vintage finds, designer pieces, and everyday staples all in one place. Search for your favorites or let the discovery come to you. Poshmark makes it easy to find what you actually want to wear at prices that feel like a quiet win. Download the Poshmark app today and use code PODCAST10 when you sign up to get $10 off your first purchase.
Most people don't realize how much of their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making millions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might just sell credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/hidden. Protect yourself now at aura.com/hidden. Everyone treats summer like it owes you happiness. Long days, pool parties, your best life on a loop. So what does it mean when you feel worse? The summer blues are real. It's why summer is one of the busiest stretches of the year for people starting therapy. Therapy is not only for when you're in crisis. Growth therapy is for all the moments when you decide you want more. More support, more clarity, more tools. Mental health isn't a destination you reach. It's something you build, and Grow makes that easier. Grow connects you with thousands of high-quality licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions, nights and weekends. You can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, identity, or availability, and get started in as little as 2 days. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Grow helps you find therapy on your time. The therapist you want takes your insurance on Grow. Grow accepts over 125 insurance plans. Sessions average $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/booknow today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/booknow. growtherapy.com/booknow. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Okay, so speaking of processing, can you talk to us a little bit about your favorite creative processing methods?
Oh, let's see. My creative processing methods. My absolute favorite thing to do to really ground myself is to be out in nature, in the trees specifically. Watch my show for any number of years. You know that I love the trees. Like, whatever, it's a thing. I love the trees. I do. Like, in fact, it's interesting. I've been the last couple of months, I've been like, I need to get out in nature. I need to be around the trees. And I've tried like different things, some intentionally, some unintentionally, but I ended up going to Cancun recently. And a lot of people like, it's like, I got to be by the water. I got to be by the ocean. And it was beautiful and I loved it, but it just doesn't fill me the way mountains and trees do. I even took a drive down to St. George, an hour south of here. Red rock, desert, mountains, beautiful. Doesn't have the trees, didn't do it for me. You know what I mean? Like the trees are my place. Like that is where if I can just be in the mountains, do a little hiking, mild hiking. I like 1 or 2 water bottle hiking, not like I got to bring a pack for a week-long hike. Not
Yeah,
that kind of
I feel you. I'm same.
like if I can do a little hiking, just be in specifically the aspen trees, hearing the rustling of the trees, that is like my happy place. Little babbling brook. I like that kind of water. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
that really grounds me. Sitting and writing and drawing or painting, not a superb artist by any means, but
But it's about the process of creating, not about the end result.
it just for me, it's just like the zoning out, and I don't zone out. I'm a doer. I've always got to be on the go.
Yeah.
And so I have to actually go away and get into a place where there's nothing else. Like, don't take my phone with me, take my stuff so I can write or draw or whatever, and just enjoy where I am.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It reminds me that I need to get outside after this interview. I think I need to go take a walk. And
Yes.
maybe I'll be barefoot. Are you a barefoot person?
Depends on where it is. I do like to be barefoot. I like to stick my feet in the grass and a brook, whatever.
Well, let's talk about Worthy Up for a minute. Worthy Up is such a bold and beautiful name. I would love to know where the vision came from and what does worthiness mean to you?
Okay, well, this won't surprise you. I was in the mountains, my favorite mountain of all time, which is up in the Salt Lake area. So far, I haven't seen all the mountains in the world yet.
I will say I lived in Logan, Utah for a long time, and also in Ogden, right outside of Salt Lake. So those mountains are pretty stinking amazing. I don't know another city like Denver is set away from the mountains more than people realize, but Salt Lake is like right there.
Oh, it's right there. You're up close and personal.
Yes, and they're not even like foothill mountains. They're like straight up mountains. It's so beautiful.
They are amazing mountains in Salt Lake for sure. So I actually had taken a weekend and went up to those mountains, and I was just doing some me time, and I had a coach that I was with, and we were just doing I don't know, it was just some internal stuff, right? Personal processing, business building kind of a thing. And it was that weekend the name Worthy Up was born. I knew that I was at a place that I needed to worthy up, but I hadn't put those words into place yet.
Yeah.
But when we came up with those words, it was the emotions, right? When you cry, you hit something.
Yeah.
And this is right. This is it. Right. And it was like, oh my gosh, I'm emotional. This is it. No question, 100% right. And it was about knowing that I had to worthy up, and I had, and I still am. It's not a destination. It's the whole process, and it's the journey, and I'm going to keep journeying along the journey. A lot of people ask, what is worthy up? What does that mean? And it's very personal. It's like just going up to the next level of worthiness. But it's also like a reminder that it's in you. Like you don't need anybody's permission to be worthy. Like you are worthy because you exist. That's it.
Right.
Like for me, that's my biggest reminder to people is simply because you exist, you're worthy. But we need to be reminded.
Yes. And that it sounds like we both started my podcast, your business. Is it a business movement? How would you define Worthy Up?
I would say movement. I mean, it's like everybody needs it when they want to feel it and when they know they need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just take on the energy of, I just need a worthy up. And people will do it when they want to do it or when they want to feel it. But yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And created worthy, same thing. Like I threw back and forth. I went back and forth between like, I am me and you are you, or you are me and I am you. And what it came down to was that we are innately worthy, right? Because you are you, and because I am me, and because we were created, because we were born, because we exist, we have inherent worthiness. So I love, love, love that you have this movement, that you're spreading that word far and wide and sharing that encouragement, because it is so important to remember. And I think worthy is like a fluff word, or some people think it's a fluff word.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm hearing from you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason that worthiness hit such a deep spot in you was because that is probably something that you've struggled with. I know for me, worthiness is my core struggle. When I start to really spiral, it's because I'm feeling unworthy. It's not because of people pleasing. It's not because of all of these external things that people seem to think that it's about. It's really because I'm struggling with my own worth. And so because of that, God said, you need to start a podcast where you just bring people on and have them share their stories, because there's nothing that they need to do to be worthy. They just need to be themselves. Right. And there's impact to be had through them sharing their own stories of their own worth innately.
Yeah. I love that. That's so cool. I had a little bit of an experience. Do you know who Jamie Kern-Lima is?
Yes.
Like, so good. It was interesting. I had already come up with my brand name, Worthy Up, and how to do it and like what to do with everything, right? And I loved it. Worthy Up, this is it, right? And I followed Jamie Kern-Lima and her story for years. I absolutely love her. And then she announced her book, Worthy. And I'm like, oh, shoot. If I do something with Worthy Up now, because I hadn't announced it yet, I was like, if I do something about Worthy Up now, people are going to think I just copied her. And I started on this little bit of a spiral. And I'm like, wait a second. Worthy Up, Meri. It's okay. I like you were saying that worthy can be a fluff word. It's like so cliche anymore. Yeah. So many people talk about it, but it's because we need it.
Yes, it's because it's the core struggle of so many human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just because you're talking about worthiness, or just because Jamie Kern-Lima is talking about worthiness, or just because anybody else is, doesn't mean that I can't.
No.
You know what I mean?
And like, how you share it and who you share it to is different. Like, I'm a firm believer of there's room for everyone at the table. And this is why. It's because when we collaborate, or when we're faithful to carry out the message that we have been assigned to, the impact is multiplied. It's not divided by you doing something similar as me. It's multiplied. It's multiplied impact. So yay for Jamie Kern-Lima for writing that book. When I read it, which was just at the beginning of this year, I had a friend be like, Danielle, she asked me, did you start your podcast like after reading Worthy? And I was like, no, my podcast has existed since 2021. She's like, wait, what? She's like, literally everything you're talking about is in the book. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. And so I made like a New Year's resolution, or a last year resolution, to finish the book by New Year's. And after I read it, I just was so encouraged to continue moving forward with the mission and vision of this podcast and bringing on and being more intentional. I think it was after reading her book that I reached out to you, actually.
Okay.
I saw you announce Worthy Up. Did you officially launch Worthy Up?
It's been right about a year. It was last spring.
Okay. So I hadn't seen it till January.
Okay.
After I read that book. So when I saw it, I was like, I have to reach out to her and see if she went.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you did. Yeah. It's really like, if you think about it, like you're going to have a different audience than I'm going to have. I'm going to have a different audience than Jamie Kern-Lima. And we all have different audiences, and not even just the audience. Like I could be talking about the same thing. You could be talking about the same thing. Jamie could be talking about the same thing. And somebody is going to connect with one of us because of whatever reason, whether it's our values or the way we share our story, or it's just people connect with different people, and that's okay. So like I hear so many different people. I'm very much into the personal development field. I absolutely love it. I have been for years. And I'll hear lots of different people saying the same thing, and I'll totally connect with one person and absolutely not with another person. You know what I mean? It's just kind of personality thing, I guess. I don't know what it is. So it's okay that many people share and spread the same message.
Yes, I completely agree. Okay, so I have one more question for you.
Okay.
You have redefined what it means to be a woman standing strong throughout some of the hardest of life's transitions, from relationships to beliefs to business. What encouragement would you give to someone who feels like their life is falling apart, but secretly hopes it's actually falling into place?
I don't think they need to secretly hope. I think they can be loud and proud about their hope. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that we need to, as long as you have like as long as you have your circle of people that are safe people, don't be quiet about your hopes and dreams. Like we all have moments. Let's just talk about my March 2025 that I never want to relive ever again in my life, right? We all have our moments that are so hard, but if we have our people around us that will support you in getting through it, like life not this or this. Life is this. We're always going to have those times that you're going to feel like it's falling apart. And it's just about making sure you have your people in your corner and the right people in your corner, and you stand up for yourself in a healthy way. And you take care of yourself physically and rest when you need it and eat, because we need to be strong as we're going through the process, and having those people who will make sure that you eat when you're not eating. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you just need to have the people around you when you're going through what you're going through, because you will always go through something. It will. And then after you've gone through it, you'll be able to be that for somebody else.
So good. So good. Yes, we definitely, I think, just as a culture, a society, as a human kind, need that reminder of like, you know what, life has its ebbs and flows. You've heard it before, you'll hear it again. Yep. There's going to be the ups, there's going to be the downs, but hold on to hope, even though sometimes it hurts to hope. And when that's the case, cling to the hope of the people, the good people in your corner that are around you, that you can lean on their hope when hope feels bleak in itself for yourself.
So I saw an interview, or a part of an interview recently, with Tom Hanks, and I don't even know what he was talking about, but he was saying, this too shall pass. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's indifferent, this too shall pass. If it's a really good day and the sun is shining, don't worry, this too shall pass. If it's a really crappy day and it's raining and snowing, this too shall pass. The idea behind that all is nothing will ever stay the same. It's always going to be different. Whatever is good in your life, whatever is bad in your life, whatever is causing you a struggle in your life, whatever is bringing you the most joy, it will all pass at some point. It will. It just will. And it's just about like holding on and waiting until the next moment and bracing through the next moment if you have to, or just thoroughly enjoying the next moment, knowing that the next moment will come, because it will always change. It will always pass, and then something else will happen.
And it's not going to be, you're not going to be in the dark days forever.
Nope.
That too will pass. This too shall pass. I love that encouragement. And so timely. I needed that. Thanks, Meri.
You're welcome.
Well, Meri, I just want to leave you with some encouragement to continue to worthy up, continue to be bold, and to have the courage to share the message that you have uniquely been designed and called to share. I cannot wait to see the impact that you continue to make. For the last 20 years or however long Sister Wives has been on, you've been making an impact on people like me who have just randomly come across the show and then randomly felt like, I know you, so I need to pray for you or be encouraging, sending encouraging vibes your way. But I just want you to know that you have made a huge impact on this world. You are destined to continue to make a huge impact in new and exciting ways. I know that it's been hard. I know that you've faced a lot of seasons of pain and confusion and unworthiness, but you are walking into a season of harvest, and you are walking into a season of abundance in life, in love, in business, and in impact. And so I just want to say to you, you, my friend, are created worthy.
Thank you so much for listening to my story on the Created Worthy podcast. I just want you to remember that your worthiness is innate within you, and you don't need anybody to give you permission, because it is in you and it is yours. Embrace it. You are worthy.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to the Created Worthy podcast. I hope that today's show resonated with you. And if it did, can you do me a huge favor and go leave a 5-star review? This helps more listeners find the show, and it expands the reach of the stories and concepts that are shared here. All the links and guest information are in the show notes. And if you're on social media, come hang out with me. You can find the Created Worthy podcast on both Instagram and Facebook. or come follow along with my personal IG page, where I just share more about the real, sometimes messy life of your fellow worthy warrior. Can't wait to talk to you soon, friend. And don't forget, we are all created worthy.